So I'm an only child born to um, my mom is South African, my dad is Zimbabwean, and I was born in Zimbabwe in a town called Maseko. And I grew up around cousins, around family because I was an only child. I was that child that always wanted to be at other people's houses. So I was raised by partly by my grandmother, partly by my mom, partly by my aunt, partly by my uncle, and that sort of thing. So I'm that village child who grew up everywhere, and yeah, basically that's me. And I'm now a mom with 5 children. I lost my husband 7 years ago. So my oldest child is 21 and my youngest is 8. The major challenges that I had growing up was, I think at some point I felt out of place. I think because I was an only child, I never felt that I fitted anywhere. So I was always trying to fit somewhere, because I was always looking for friends. I was always looking for people to. So I think even up until now, I'm just that person that's big on relationships. And I think it's because I was always alone. So I was kind of lonely. And because of that, I was always looking to be in friendships and relationships and that sort of thing. I never had any struggles. Like I don't come from a poor background or that sort of thing. We were just okay. We were average. We're not rich or wealthy, but we were just okay. And so the challenges that I would say I had, I think because I was that person that liked to cling on relationships, I became, I would say, a people pleaser. And because I became a people pleaser, people would take advantage of me. So I was susceptible to abuse growing up. So I ended up experiencing things like sexual abuse and things like that. So I would say those were my challenges. So I had always, back in Zimbabwe, I was always running businesses, family businesses. And I always had a passion for real estate. And I always tried to get into it, but it never came to pass. So after my husband passed away, I decided to move to South Africa because of the circumstances of how he passed away. He committed suicide, and it was all over the newspapers, the internet. He was a businessman, a well-known businessman. So because of the circumstances of his death, I decided to leave the country just to start a new life and start afresh with my children. And when I came to South Africa, I tried to get into real estate. When I first got here, I lived in the East Rand, but no one was giving me the opportunity. And then I left it. And I worked in corporate for quite some time, law firms, investment companies, and stuff like that. I even worked for a church. And then after that, that's when when I left the church and I was no longer working for the church and I was looking for a job opportunity. I was applying, I wasn't getting any responses. And one day when I was just sitting, I just felt something drop inside me and say, why don't you try real estate? And that's when because I had a friend who was working in real estate before, I called him up and I said, listen, I want to join real estate now. How can I go about it? And he gave me his former principal's number and I called her, and that's how I ended up in real estate. So when I first started out, I experienced a lot of challenges with in terms of breaking into the market as a black person. I just found that I wasn't winning with a certain type of clients, because of my skin color, or I don't know, or relation with my relations with, or my interactions with them. I don't know, I'm not sure. But then the minute I started to gain a little bit more experience, it became easier. And I started to create that rapport and build in relationships, and then it became easier. But I would first say When I first started out, my major challenges were breaking into the market as a black person.
So today, what are the major challenges that faces everybody, and what advice do you have for anybody who wants to be in real estate?
Well, the major challenges is because it's a commission-based job, um, you don't get a monthly salary, and your salary is not guaranteed. So to have that cash flow um, is quite a challenge. So it's better if you have financial support, say from a husband or a spouse or a family member or something like that, because for you to wait for your commissions to pay out, sometimes you wait as long as 3 or 4 months waiting for a commission to pay out. And if those sales are not that regular, you will go through a dry season where you're just waiting for money. By the time it comes, you've probably borrowed here and there to make ends meet. And by the time your commission does pay out, it's just going back to pay what you've been borrowing and that sort of thing. So I would say cash flow is the major challenge in real estate as an agent. And but then the other challenge I would say is just having enough resources, because I think it goes back to that cash flow thing. Because remember, I said sometimes you don't have commission for at least 3-4 months, but you still need to go for viewings. You need petrol to drive to viewings. You need to pay for your office bills and all of that, because this is a self-funded business. It's more like you're running your own business. It's not really you're employed by someone and you're getting a salary. So it's really self-funded. So having the resources to carry out your duties in order to make a sale can be quite a major challenge if you don't have support. The number one thing was I really relied on God. Um, you know, the day he passed away, because it was tragic, it was unexpected. It's not like he was sick and we were, preparing ourselves for it. He just left the house, didn't come back, and the next thing I'm hearing, he committed suicide. So, but the minute I heard, I had so much support from the Christian community that I was associated with, I would say. So from church, I had a lot of support from church. People were reaching out. People were sending me scriptures left, right, and center. People were praying for me. People were prophesying over my life. So that kept me sane, because I just locked into the word of God, and I just looked at his promises, and I just kept speaking the word and saying, you are the defender of widows, you are this, you are that. And I just kept speaking the word. What does the word say about the things that I'm going through now? He heals the brokenhearted and that sort of thing. So that really kept me sane. And I also started serving in church. And serving in church just helped me. It almost like I shifted my focus from my grief to just serving the Lord. And the more I served, the more I healed. So I would say that was my coping mechanism at that. I would say it was like over the 3-4 years after his death. I just locked into his word and just served him. There was because the circumstances of his death were surrounded around another woman. So we all don't know what happened on that night, but obviously something happened between him and another woman, and he killed the other woman, and then he killed himself. So that's what happened. So, but he was communicating with me throughout our marriage, ever since he had that affair that he was going through. He was going through challenges with that woman. He would tell me about it. He would share. But I didn't realize it was to that extent. But the signs were there. The signs were there. He would cry. He would talk to me at night. He would tell me that I'm struggling. I don't know what to do, because he had a child with the woman. And I think he was just struggling to reconcile everything. And I think he was caught in between. And I really think he didn't know what to do. I did try to help him, but I didn't know how. So I just want to speak a word of encouragement to anyone out there that might be going through a tough season. I call it a season because it will pass. Nothing remains the same forever. Nothing stays the same forever. Things change, circumstances change, and sometimes those challenges that you are going through those things for a reason. You know, sometimes when you're going through something, it doesn't make any sense why you have to go through so much pain, so much heartache. But in time, you will realize the reason why you are going through that path. Sometimes it's not even to help you only, but it's to help other people that you will help in the future. But you have to, I would say you have to die at some point and go through certain hardships in order to come out victorious at the end of the day. So whatever it is that you might be going through at this moment, or in this time, or in this season, I just want you to know that it will come to pass. It will change. Things will transform. All you have to do is just keep on believing that something is going to shift and something is going to change. And I just want to encourage you. Maybe you are trying to start something. You have been trying to start a business, or you have been trying to get a certain job or a certain position, and you've been failing many times. Maybe you have been knocking on certain doors. You know, I speak again about time. There is a time for everything under the sun, and your time will come. There will come a time when you will now have opportunities coming left, right, and center, and you will not even know which opportunity to take. But when the time has not come for that, there's nothing you can do to speed it up. All you can do is just keep believing and just keep trusting God for that time. Your time will come and you will shine again, and you will have those opportunities, those lost opportunities, but they will come back hundredfold. And you know, everything you've lost, just know that God will restore everything that you have lost. There will come a time, at a season and a time. There is a time for everything where you will also shine, where you will also walk in victory, because I believe that there is no testimony without a test. So you will, and you know, every failure is an opportunity to learn. Now you know how it shouldn't be done. You know, so don't look at your failures as setbacks. Look at them as steps to help you move forward. Okay, so the person that gave me the greatest push in the real estate industry was Estelle Ferreira. She is my operating principal. She's my operating partner. And she, over the last, I would say the last 2 years, she has been instrumental in my growth as a person, as an individual, and I will be forever grateful for that. She has inspired me. She has pushed me to great lengths, and you know, she has given me opportunities that I honestly don't feel I deserve, but she believed in me and saw the potential that was inside me and said, I want to unlock the potential that is inside of you. And she has great leadership skills, and she has imparted those skills on me as well. And as of now, I'm now a productivity coach because of her, and she has coached me and mentored me in real estate, and almost everything that I know now about real estate, I really owe it to her. She has kept me accountable to my goals and helped me to reach my targets. So I'm really, really grateful for Estelle, and I'm really grateful for everything that she's put in time, resources into my life, and it's been life-changing for me. I've inspired a lot of people, and I do mentor other people and young people. But there's a particular lady that gave me a call, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And I started interacting with her through Facebook. She inboxed me. This was like a few months after my husband had passed away. And she had just said to me, I'm inspired by your strength. And we just started to chat from that time. And we've been chatting, and I've been mentoring her and just helping her, praying with her, and that sort of thing. But she came back to me, I think a few years ago. I traveled to Zimbabwe. She is in Zimbabwe. I let her know that I was in the country, and if she had time, she could come and see me. So she came to see me. And she said to me, I had totally forgotten about this, but she said, I said to her, you are going to become a CEO. And because she was also broken and going through stuff, so I was sort of helping her go through what she was going through. And I told her to stop focusing on the challenges or everything that she was going through or what she didn't have, and just start to be grateful for what she did have, and just start to push herself forward. So I told her to go back to school, find something to do with your life, grow. I told her to develop herself, and she went back to school and she did her master's. So she's got an MBA now. And so she's been telling me all this progress in her life and how she's doing well and that sort of thing. And then a few weeks ago, she phoned me and she said, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you've been saying. And I want to thank you because you changed my life when you told me to stop focusing on what I don't have and focus on what I have. And the minute I changed my mentality and took on that mentality, my life changed. And then she said, you said to me, I'm going to be a CEO. And right now I'm owning a company. I've started a digital marketing company, and I'm now owning this and that. And she's doing well, and she's owning her own company. She's become an entrepreneur. So I think I must have touched her in a life-changing way, because she came back and told me that. So for me, I know there's a lot of people that I've inspired, but for me, she really stands out because she came back and said, you asked me to do A, B, C, D, and this is what I've done, and this is where I am now. So yeah. Success means a lot of things to me, but first of all, it means joy. So when I have joy in my heart, and whether the things that bring me joy are living in a 2-bedroom house and whatever, that's joy for me. And if joy for me is traveling and seeing the world, so anything that brings joy to my life, for me, that means success. And for me personally, joy is when I see my children happy and when they have everything they need, and when they are doing well and they are successful and they can say, Mom, this is what I need, and I can provide for that. That brings me so much joy. And the other thing that brings me joy is when I can operate in my God-given purpose. So when I can inspire and motivate people, when I can serve God, I'm in so much joy. And for me, that's success. And if I also like the finer things of life, if I can afford the things that I need, if I can travel and take my children on holidays and I can buy them designer clothes, that for me is success. I've managed to do the things that bring me joy. Okay, so I think it's leadership. I think I'm a good leader to some extent, and I just love to see everyone doing well. And for me, I feel that that's what I have to offer the world. I want to motivate people to do well. I want even in real estate right now, my focus is on empowering Black people to own real estate in South Africa, even foreign-based Black people. And for me, if I can be an instrument to that, then I've given something, because sometimes people just don't own real estate, not because they can't afford it but because they just don't know how to go about it. So when I give you that knowledge and you can be able to acquire real estate and acquire property, for me, I feel like I've given something, and I've offered you something that's substantial to your living. I think I have a unique, calm disposition that a lot of people don't possess. So, and I let things go easily, and I can move on with things. I easily forgive. and I easily move on, and I see that so when I see other people struggling with that, I'm always like, why are you struggling with that? Just okay, you're upset, but let's move on, you know. So I feel like that's something that's unique, and I quickly count my losses, and because of that, I also quickly count my losses. I don't dwell on things. Okay, this didn't work out. I quickly move on. I've seen that. I think because of social media, when there's um, a campaign towards a certain cause, people are really coming together to voice their opinions, to voice their, you know, like I would say, for example, when what was his name who passed away, who was shot in America, and the whole world, Floyd, yes, when the whole world came together and people had the hashtag Black Lives Matter, but everyone, whether it was white people or black people, were chanting Black Lives Matter. This needs to stop. And the way the whole world came together for that cause was amazing to me. And it's not the only one. I've seen campaigns around gender-based violence. I've seen campaigns around rape and that sort of thing. But people, because of the influence of social media and how we can get information out there in a split of a second, the way people are coming together to speak against these atrocious activities that have been going on around the world is really amazing. So people are coming together for causes through social media, and I find that quite amazing. I would say gender-based violence. And I would say, I know a lot of it is around men abusing women violently, but then I also mean it the other way around, because I've heard stories of women that are killing their men in homes. I would just wish if people are not getting along, if people are not understanding each other, there be better ways of communicating, or better ways of handling certain challenges instead of becoming violent towards each other. So gender-based violence for me is something that I just wish could just end and stop. Okay, so the reason why I have these books is because this is this was a life-changing book for me. Soar by T.D. Jakes, and it's really talks about building your vision from the ground up. So he in this book he really talks about how he started off as a minister of the word, and how he became a business person and an entrepreneur, and how he grew all his empires and becoming the person that he is now. And he likens it to the building of the first airplane. So that's the analogy he uses throughout this book. And it's just amazing, and how he links it with scripture, and how he links being an entrepreneur with scripture and that sort of thing. So for me, that's a good book that I would recommend for anyone to get their whole, especially somebody who is entrepreneurial minded. So the book I recommend is Soar by T.D. Jakes, and I would say get hold of that book. It is life-changing. Okay, so my favorite quote is one by Oprah Winfrey that says, "Be grateful for what you have." Okay, I don't know the exact words, but then it talks about gratitude, how to be grateful for what you have, not focusing on what you don't have. And the minute you become grateful, you will have much more. I'm very big on gratitude, so I think that's why that's my favorite. And I've applied it to my life, and I've noticed that every time I become more thankful and grateful for what I have, God always blesses me with better. Technology. We had technology when we were growing up, but it wasn't as powerful as it is now. And technology, where we have so much more access to information than we had before. So the millennials have that advantage. You know, right now people can just go on YouTube and learn how to become anything they want to become. And if you want to become a makeup artist, if you want to become a mechanic or whatever it is, you can just go on YouTube and learn how to do these things. So for me, technology, I think the millennials should take great advantage of that, coupled with social media, which is a very powerful tool if used right. Social media can make or break you, but used wisely, social media, the internet, and technology can propel the young people's life in a very powerful way if they use it right. Viewers of gold. So I'll just talk about 4 things that you need to succeed in life. And the first thing is self-motivation. So if you're not self-motivated, who's going to motivate you? So you need to have that drive inside you to want to succeed, that self-motivation, because self-motivation is what will get you up in the morning. And self-motivation is what will give you the drive to execute the things that you need to execute. Because if you are not self-motivated, so you need to look in the inside of you and look for inspiration inside of you before you start looking for inspiration outside. And then the outside inspiration will come to push whatever is inside of you. So you need self-motivation. And then the second thing that you need is hard work. You need to have a great work ethic. So say you're now self-motivated, but you now need to get up and do the work that you need to do. So for you to have a great work ethic, you need to get rid of things like procrastination, and especially procrastination. It's the biggest enemy to success, because it's always, I will do it tomorrow, I will do it next year, I will do it another time, and you never get it done. So once you get rid of procrastination, you need to actually go out and do the work and become proactive. Not wait for people to ask you to do certain things, but just go out and do certain things and certain actions in order for you to get to where you want to get to. Okay, and then the third thing that you need is you need to have a strong spiritual life. So you need to be prayerful. You need to find time to meditate and just have quiet time quiet moments where you sit with yourself and think about the things that you want. Make your requests be made known unto God, and He will answer your prayers. So prayer, a lot of things that I personally have achieved, or a lot of things that I have personally succeeded over, were birthed through prayer. So every time I pray, every time I'm consistent with prayers, and there's different kinds of prayers, that's a story for another day, but you need to pray all kinds of prayers and just be in tune with your spirit man, so that you can be able to conquer the world. And then the fourth thing that you need to have is strategy. So say you know what you want to do, you've been prayerful, you now need to have a strategy in order for you to know how to get to where you want to get to. And by strategy, I also mean planning. And you need to have set goals, and set realistic goals for a certain period. And you need to tick off those goals as you go along. So say hypothetically you want to become a doctor, and you now need to go and sit down and say, okay, in order for me to become a doctor, what are the things that I need to do? And then you list them, and then you tick them off as you go along until you get to the stage where you can now say, I am now a doctor. So whatever it is that you want to do, you need to strategize, map out, plan, and see how you are going to get to that level. Without a plan, without a vision, without a mission, you will never be able to achieve what you want, because you will just be that person that's all over the place. You need to write down the vision, write down the plan, and then plan how you are going to get there. Success for this show. I wish that this show can go international, because I am big on inspiration, I am big on motivation, I am big on inspiring people. So the mandate of this show is something that's close to my heart. So I'm really excited for this show, and I just want to see so many people on this show coming through to inspire, to motivate others, and I just want to see it go into greater heights and just reaching as many people, millions and millions and billions of people, so that if people can be touched and transformed through this show. So I really wish this show a lot of success. So my goal in the next few years is that I want to grow, particularly as a leader in real estate. I currently have coaches that coachees that I am coaching and mentoring in real estate. I want to see those people become successful realtors, and so I want to grow that career in terms of coaching and mentoring, and in terms of being an accredited trainer. So that's where I aim to be in the next few years. And then after that, I hope I can always start my own real estate company, and own a bigger company in real estate and property investment. I want to go into property development, and just pick people up on the way as I go. And ultimately, I want to touch people's lives through ministry, through business, and just keep motivating people in business, in growing spiritually. And I don't know how it will be executed, but I just see myself supporting people and motivating people and inspiring people. Maybe have a big center where I'm also passionate about the creative arts industry. So I want to see young people doing well in their field, whether it's in any form of art. And I want to see them express that more. So I want to create an organization that can support those young people. So what I would say to single parents is hard work. You know, you really have to work extra hard to provide for your family. And the reason why you end up having to work extra hard is because you don't have the support of another partner. So you need to work hard, even especially as a mother. It's so much harder. Well, I don't know the experience of the man, but then as a mother, it can be very challenging. So I would say to work really hard in order for you to provide for your children, and just to have that, to be centered around the Lord in your home. It really helps when you pray with your children. I pray with my children every single morning when I'm taking them to school in the car. So it helps us to remain centered and to trust in the Lord and to trust in a higher power than us, because nothing ever makes sense in this world. But when we look unto God, we see that things just start to align themselves. So I would say to remain spiritually connected to God, and to remain hardworking, and just to preserve your life, so that you can be able to continue to support your children. No, I just want to thank my family, my support structure. I have a beautiful mom and dad, and they, especially my mom, has been very supportive since my husband passed away. She's been a pillar of strength for me, and I just want to take this time to just say thank you, Mom. I love you and I appreciate you. I know I don't say it often, but I love you. And I just want to thank my children. They've been very good children. They haven't given me headaches or anything. They are such good children, and I just want to thank them for being good and for being supportive as well. I always say to people, my children take care of each other. I don't have to worry about them. So I just want to say thank you to them for being good and for supporting me in business and in everything that I do. And also extended family from my late husband's family, from friends. I've got beautiful friends that have stood by me. And I just want to thank all of them and just say, without them, I wouldn't have been able to go through the things that I went through. So just that big support structure that I have, I just want to say thank you and I love you all. Hello, my name is Tinna and I'm a real estate professional and you are watching Gold. Hi, my name is Tinna. I'm a real estate professional and you are watching Gold with King Nee. Go for gold. Hi, my name is Tinna. I'm a real estate professional. Catch me on Gold this week. Okay, I just want to encourage my friend. She is in Harare right now. She will know herself. She's going through I know you're going through a tough time, and I just want to encourage you and just know that you are beautiful, you are strong, you are loved, and no matter the voices in your head, whatever they are telling you, no matter the circumstances that are around you, whatever it is that you are going through. I know some things you don't even tell me, and I know some things that you have shared with me, some really tough things. But I want you to know that you are bigger than every single thing that you are going through right now. And that this is just, I always tell you that this is just a season and it will pass and and you will come out victorious. And one day you will look back and sit and talk about this and encourage someone else to go through the same things that you are going through right now. So I want you to hold on to the promises of God and just know that you will come out victorious. You will come out a conqueror, no matter how bleak it looks, no matter how dark it looks. There is light at the end of that tunnel. So I want you to hold on to your word, to the words that have been spoken over your life and the words that have been spoken to you, and just hold on to the promises of God and know that you are crossing over, and just be the strong and beautiful person that you are. And I want you to know that I love you very much and you will get through this.